This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome to episode 27 of Too Old to Game, Most Valuable Podcast Gaming Mecca Podcast. I'm your fear-filled host, Dave Oster. I'm joined today by the original man himself, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And not Mark Weber. Couldn't make it tonight. We'll catch him next time. We're gonna bring to you today some great stories. Bungie, great timing by the way. Breaking up with Activision just hours before we record. Thank you, and honestly, thank you for breaking off from Activision. We'll deep dive on that, as well as some talks about Anthem going full open availability prior to launch. Like they're just letting anybody play. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like an amazing thing. We're going to talk about what that means and kind of maybe the landscape with Anthem out there, with the Division 2, and with Destiny's future, what's going down where. But before we get into it, can we just take one moment to pause and tell you how much we love you and how much we love your love?
We're going to pause for station identification.
Yeah, we love their love, Ricky. Is that too much to say? If you guys want to support us, you can go to iTunes, hit us up there, review our podcast, give us a rating. I love reading the feedback in the comment section. I love reading those ratings. So please check us out there. But
I was going to say, you're not like, I didn't want to say comment whore. Like, that's the first thought that came to my head. But like,
that's a demeaning term.
I'm going to say you're a comment junkie.
Junkie's
is
correct.
What you are.
On Jonesing Forum.
Like, you're just like, hey, I got to read the comment. Like, you read the comments sometimes before I get to the comments.
And you get the emails.
And I'm always reading the comments.
And you get the emails. I'm literally just going through our videos.
Not only do I have, like, of course, our mostvaluablepodcast@gmail.com, but I have that email forwarded to my personal email to where I don't even have to open up the actual email. I just get it to my one email.
What can I say? I love to hear what people think about what we say. Because it's good to get
constantly
different points of view.
Refresh,
it's wonderful. It's the glory of YouTube, you know? So let's get into it, Ricky. Biggest news of the day, and honestly the most impactful news of the day to me is Bungie splitting with Activision and taking their Destiny intellectual property with them. This is huge. This is absolutely huge because right now it seems like Activision can only do wrong. It seems they've tanked Blizzard seemingly across the board. You know, whether it's the decisions to go on a money grab with mobile games and going Diablo, the Chinese mobile game ripoff, whether they're, basically killing off Heroes of the Storm's future, the downward trend of World of Warcraft. Obviously, the only thing right now that's really the shining star for them is Overwatch in the Blizzard world. But with that being said, things have not looked so hot as of late for the Blizzard section of Activision. Many people blaming Activision leadership and Activision direction. So with Bungie pulling out and taking their star prize property of Destiny with them, do you think this is like their saving grace move? It's like, look, we know what Destiny is, which is a lump sum of cash, just a giant pile of money. Didn't do exactly what they wanted to out there. So now that Bungie's driving their own future, what do you think?
I'm going to sound kind of like an asshole here, but I'll say it anyways. Yeah. Maybe I'll get a full game on release day.
Yikes.
Maybe I'll get a full game. And for me, the biggest thing of this is kind of like, I hope I'm using this right, by the way, kind of the jump the shark a little bit and get right to like the main crux of everything of why they split up.
That is not jumping the shark.
Okay. Like I said, probably using it wrong. Or jump the gun. Probably is what I was looking for. Main thing of why they split up was the schedule that Activision wants, where it's like every fall we want some DLC or some expansion type of property to where I almost look at it and go, okay, now that you're not going to be on that schedule, could I get a full Destiny game at launch that I feel competent into where it's like, okay, this is a game that I am happy with at launch and not one where it's like, well, I played the story. When's the next expansion? Oh, it's then? Oh, I'm not getting back into this game at that time. And that was my thing. My biggest kind of problem with Destiny was I didn't even want to buy Destiny 2.
Nope.
And I'll be honest, kind of like what I'm almost doing with you and the Switch, where we have a mutual friend who is dating my cousin, and they were like, "Oh, we play Destiny all the time," and you were really hyped on Destiny. You wanted to play Destiny.
He sold me on Destiny. We watched, like a 20-minute video of Destiny.
And I was still sitting there going, "Nope, does not." And I look at Dave, and Dave's like scratching his arm.
Okay, we were going through that World of Warcraft phase too. Like, I needed something to take over my life.
Yeah, we weren't at World War. This was before we went back. Yeah. So yes, you need something, but like Dave's sitting there like full crackhead mode. Like he is in
this going.
And you suckered me into it. And after I finished the story, I went, why did I let him do this to me? Why did I let him do this to me? To where now I almost feel like this is where I'll get my answer of, was that a Bungie thing of like, did they mean to do that? Or it was just is it just going to be a, no, we didn't want to do that. We had to do that because Activision put us to the schedule that we're not going to be kind of forced to follow now that we broke off from them.
Yeah, that's a fair question. And we won't know the answer for obviously some time now. I think the biggest problem you hit on it was the time gating of content. It was, here's a little bit of content, here's a little bit of content, here's a little bit of content, but not enough to keep you playing the game at all times. It didn't have that World of Warcraft itch that, made it so special back in the day, when there's always something to do, there's always something to strive for. Hitting that great balance of content, but not a grind, end game material, but not like an uphill climb, like you're never going to achieve it. It's you have something to strive for, and you have something to build towards at all times, and there's always something to do. And I feel like Destiny 2 really failed on that.
Even at the end game, like, I remember, because this was at a time where then you were kind of falling out of Destiny 2, and I was like, I gotta play this because I spent money on it. Like, I'm gonna go through and try to play the end game. And unless you had a group of players that you're like, okay, we're gonna go in and play this, it was near impossible to find a group.
Correct.
Like, there was no looking for group mechanic in the game. And even like when I went on like the forums, all the forums would be like people saying, oh, well, we're looking for item level this, or what is it, World of Light or whatever it was, light level this. And I was like, well, I can't get to that unless I get in here.
You got to grind your way up.
Exactly. And I couldn't find the group to grind up. So I was like, well, this game is going over here and I'm never playing it again.
Yep.
And then I never bought the expansions. Exactly what happened when I played the first Destiny. And that was the biggest problem.
It's true. It's true. The group required to full experience on game. But I mean, I'm honestly okay with it. Had they had a better system to
like for looking for group.
Well, I mean, they had guild equivalents of guilds, I guess, in the game, and I was in one, and they were fairly easy to join, and you always had people on. So I think that's something that, like, maybe that's just a missed opportunity for you to not join one of those. I keep using the word guild. I don't even know if that's the right term for that
equivalent.
game. Yeah.
It's a Warcraft thing.
Yep. Sorry.
We'll let it happen.
We'll always have those terms. So yeah, I think that what people should be looking forward to, obviously with the investment money coming from NetEase, I'm hoping they're much more hands-off as far as the demands of the game. I'm hoping that Bungie can kind of take this to we already have excellent, character design. We have really good art. We have good soundtracks to the game. The combat is solid. Like, I wish that the talent choices were a bit more impactful for the content. I feel like no matter what you chose, you could do it, but like it didn't change the way I played too much. Certain ones, I'll give them credit. Certain ones did, but not everything had that same feel to it. So I think that it's just they had a lot of good, but it also wasn't the cash grab that other games are when it comes to like, the in-game purchasable content. They had that whole store basically where you could go through and buy loot boxes. Yeah, for lack of a better term. And I think that kind of missed on the audience there when, Overwatch hit its craze with loot boxes when Fortnite was doing all of that, doing all of its skins, and CSGO does its loot boxes. Like, everybody at that time was so huge. And I feel like Destiny 2 just sort of...
It's all about them microtransactions.
It whiffed on it, which is kind of weird to me. But I think part of it's because the player base wasn't so devoted to the game. Like, you have the hardcore people. I've got friends who still play Destiny 2 who hate the shit out of what they've done. Like, basically, they feel bad because it's just they've put so much time into it and they love the content and they love the story, but they don't like the way it's been done. Well, and it's just like the other fans all dripped off. Like you're just stuck with the hardcore fans left. And
that's the thing where, I mean, this podcast so far has been like, Ricky, do you like anything about Destiny? And like there is things that I like. Like I remember playing the first one.
Yeah.
And the thing I will never forget is that moment of when I heard Peter Dinklage as your little
companion.
Your companion. And he's just like hearing that. And like in the second one being like Nathan Fillion being that voice, having that big name as that voice. The story for it, it wasn't like it was a bad story. I enjoyed the story.
It was an enjoyable story
for both Destiny 1 and Destiny 2.
Yeah.
I felt like I enjoyed the story. It never felt like there was enough. And the thing that I kind of hope with this is kind of like what you said, where they don't have to follow anything. The thing I'm going to kind of relate it to is like in the YouTube world of right now we're seeing it with ERB, Epic Rap Battles of History, where theirs was a little bit different, where their content was owned by someone else. But like you see it all the time in our space of YouTuber joins an MCN because they feel like they need that MCN to help them get to places where they need to go.
Yep.
And then that MCN either controls their funds or also says, no, you need to follow now our guidelines, and kind of changes their content and kind of forces them into a route maybe they didn't want to go. I'm hoping now that we kind of see, like you said, where this is kind of like what I'm thinking. I said like ERB, where now they're back, they're making videos, and it's like Bungie can, this brand new game like you mentioned, where they got the $100 million investment from NetEase, who I believe is the same company we mentioned last week with the Marvel game. Am I correct? Are they the same company? That
I can't remember yesterday, so last week's really stretching it.
I think they might be the same one, but I may be mistaken. But that's what I want to see, is especially with this brand new game, what is that going to look like? Because we've seen some great games, especially like at the end of this last year, Red Dead Redemption 2. Sorry, you've got God of War, Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, like all these games that had great stories. But at the end of each of them, you got to the end and were like, I got a full game. And then for everyone except for God of War, and I'll say Red Dead Redemption 2, although they have their online mode, which is kind of like a subset to the expansion. But every other game, Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, had that extra DLC to where, hey, I got the full game, and I'm getting more with the DLC that they're adding.
Yeah. No, I think that I think and I hope same thing. It's continue to give me great content, but also they don't have to follow that obligation from above, telling me, well, I need X units or I need X amount of microtransactions done at this time rate for this to be successful. And I don't think that your idea will do it. So let's just shove this down your throat. Don't know if this happened, but I'm just reading between the lines, and some of the comments have come out. It's like, well, let's try my idea because I've seen it work over here and over there. It's like, well, it's not really where we're going with this one. Well, it's what's going down here.
One question I want to ask you is the Blizzard thing.
Yeah.
Because Activision owns Blizzard.
Yes, they do.
How long do you think, because the first thing that you had mentioned was Destiny is still going to be on Blizzard.
Correct. Battle.net is maintaining Destiny.
Do you think that's temporary? Do you think that is just like, hey, right now,
I think Destiny 2 as a property is going to stay there.
Okay.
I think, and they're going to continue rolling out content. They've already said, like, yes, we will continue to deliver on the existing Destiny roadmap. We're looking forward to releasing more seasonal experiences in the coming months, as well as surprising our community with some exciting announcements about what lies beyond. So we'll keep it going. We're going to pump some more love into it and show you guys that, look, we're Bungie. We got your back. We know you paid a lot of money for this product because, like you said, you had to, basically.
Yeah.
But the future's where it's at. So I like what I hear. And yes, everything's going to be cool on the Battle.net end for now. But I think that their next property will go up on their whatever they choose. And I don't know Destiny 2 long term if that's where it will forever remain. I think that that one they might, like, as they get prepped for Destiny 3, I could see them doing some package deal or something. And yeah.
Because, like, the other big thing that I'll kind of throw out there to segue into is, like, I mean, the thing that you look at is the Division 2 going to be choosing Epic compared to Steam. What we had mentioned, I think, a couple episodes ago when Epic was like, hey, we're going to do our store. And that's another thing where I wonder if either the brand new game or when we eventually get to a Destiny 3, is Bungie going to say, hey, we had Battle.net and we had Destiny 2 on Battle.net. We only kept it here because we didn't want to screw over our fan base and the players who played it. But this next one, we're going to choose Epic. Yeah. Like, do you think there'll be one to maybe choose an Epic and follow the Division 2 and what they're doing?
Oh, I definitely think so. I think that they are in prime position to make the jump going forward. There's no reason not to. You get more share of the earnings, and by the time Destiny 3 would be released, there's already some people are like, well, if this is happening now, then 2020, look for Destiny 3 to drop. We'll see. Timelines are sketchy. Lots of things are in motion right now, especially with the split of the company. Like, I don't think that that's something that you can cleanly go and like, all right, here's our new game. We're all ready. So by then we'll have, is Epic Games really all in on their content launcher and their store? Can this be a reasonable competitor to Steam and Steam's stability, Steam's history, and the known functionality of the Steam store? I think there's a lot to be said about what has been done in that store and how much of a monolith it was for online gaming or for PC gaming. But every time you get challenged with something new, Epic Games Store does this thing, they think they're going to do this cool new thing, Steam Store can still respond and match them or do something in the same vein. So I think that's the interesting thing, is competition breeds better products. And I look forward to the Division 2 going to the Epic Games Store, because I think that it might start to become a wake-up call, because that's Steam not getting revenue sharing from that. They're not getting a percentage of every game buy. So I look forward to that happening, and I think that Bungie is in great shape because they don't have to launch a new game soon, and they're not being kicked off of the Battle.net platform. So like, they're in an ideal position right now.
Well, and the thing I also found it kind of humorous in a way, because they weren't exactly one after another.
Yeah.
But the thing I just kind of find humorous is, so the Division is going to be on the Epic Store.
Correct.
And there's a lot of hype about what the Epic Store will be. Like you just mentioned, like, what we still don't know what it's exactly going to be. Is it going to be, if we look down into our crystal ball, is it going to be, we look back on it where it's like, wow, this was a game changer and this was the rival to Steam?
Or is it going to be a reskin of the Steam Store?
Exactly. And where we look back and go, man, remember the Epic Store and how it thought it can compete with Steam?
Yeah.
The thing I just look at, and I saw this article last week and I was like, interesting. And now with all this, it's kind of making me think, is kind of under the radar news, I'll say, where there's a video game writer who was a co-writer for Half-Life and Portal is returning to Valve.
Yep.
Do you think this is something that Valve is trying to do to maybe work on a new Half-Life or a new Portal to try to give their store, the Steam Store, something, a little bit of ammo that's like, okay, they're catching steam, let's get a new Half-Life. Let's get that kind of hype and mojo going, so that, boom, we have something that can compete with this.
A new Half-Life is like asking for Kingdom Hearts 3, man.
I only bring it up because you brought it up, like, kind of dreamy kind of situation a podcast or two ago.
It's the same thing. A new Half-Life is a Kingdom Hearts 3. It's something that no one ever thought was going to happen.
Never thought.
But we all want it. We all want it bad. And like, that's a game that comes back and it's just like, have my money. Like, you're going to get so many millions of sales for bringing back the Half-Life series on a new graphics engine, on new graphics, new tech. Everything about it will be awesome. Don't know. I think it'd be baller. I don't think it has anything to do with the timing. I think that's just a, like, here was somebody who was in the room when these great things were made. Is there a chance that, this is part of a gathering of resources towards, a third Half-Life game? Mm-hmm. Maybe, but, it also could be for some new projects.
Because, the only thing that made me start to think about it... I'm trying
to get my hopes up.
...is the quote from, it's Walpole, is his last name. The quote that he has is, so I've had a contractor agreement with Valve since the day I stormed out, and then immediately timely stormed back in to ask, could I please have my old job back?
Right.
And they said no. And I was like, good, because I'm too busy to work for you anyways. And they said, but you could be a contractor. And I said, oh, thank God. Okay, I'll do that. I've been helping Pinkerton and Jaros and Vanaman whenever they need me. It's been busier on that front lately, but I'm not currently a full-time employee. My main gig is still delivering juice for my niece Jody's vegan juice shop, plus an unpaid internship playing Slay of the Spire 3 hours a day, which I believe that's the card game you were all
it's an addictive
about.
Card game, for sure.
The thing I look at with a quote like that is, you stormed out, then you asked for your job back, and Valve's like, whoa, buddy, we ain't going to do that. You can be a contractor for us, which basically is kind of like the upper hand of like, no.
We're not giving you benefits.
But now it's like, all right, I wonder, this is me reading into it. Of course, I'm not in the room, but it's like reading that, knowing what's going on, with the Epic Store, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, all right, fuck, we got to do something. Hey, buddy, you want your old job back? Because we might need you to develop a new game for us or help write a new game for us, whether that is Half-Life or Portal, doesn't matter. Just a new game to compete with this Epic Store that's gaining some steam in the past few weeks.
Yeah, no, it's a tantalizing story and a picture to paint.
And Dave's like, please Half-Life 3. Please Half-Life 3.
I'm just trying to keep a level head here because I don't want to get my hopes up. It's been a long time since Half-Life 2.
My memory with Half-Life is the orange box.
Yeah.
Remember buying the orange? This was before Steam. Talk about too old the game where you had to go out to the computer store, buy the orange box, but they had Counter-Strike, Team Fortress, and Half-Life. Were those the three games in the orange box?
Counter-Strike, Team Fort, Half-Life. I think that's it.
Okay. I couldn't remember if Portal was in there also.
Yeah. Portal might have been in there.
Dave's like, I got to look it up now.
I'm pulling it up real quick. Gonna spot check this shit real quick.
Because this was in the days where you were heavily into... I don't think it was CSGO, but you were heavily into...
original CS. Okay. It was the original Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
So yeah, Orange Box featured multiple things. Half-Life 2 and its continuations, Episode 1, Episode 2, Portal, Team Fort 2. It was 2007? Wow. That seems late. I feel like there was an earlier version of it, but still, time flies.
Dave's like, wow, I feel old.
Time freaking flies. God. Yeah, no. I mean, Half-Life 2 was just amazing. That was 2004.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it's Kingdom Hearts 2 was what, 2002?
I was just gonna pull that up right now. I think it was about that same time. Kingdom Hearts 2 was 2005. December of 2005.
So I don't hear shit. Those Kingdom Hearts fans had a whole year shorter wait, and oh my god. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think it's with me, it's maybe I'm reading in too much, but there's a part of me that now looking back on that news from a week ago, I'm like, it might be a little bit too coincidental.
Makes you think. That's fair. I like it.
Especially with you and talking about comparing Half-Life to Kingdom Hearts, where it's people really want that game.
Time.
Give them what they want, and then no one remembers the Epic Store.
Got to give the people.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
people what they want.
It's kind of maybe me trying to hype up some Half-Life fans too.
Go ahead and dredge it up. Dredge it up. That's fun. But you mentioned The Division 2, yet another multiplayer shooter game. And guess what? So we go from Destiny, potentially future, MMO. Well, yeah, MMO, online shooter. Online's already in that MMO. Whoops. To Division 2, which I think we were all pretty hyped after watching the demos for. Looked like it could be a fun game. Could correct some of the wrongs from the initial Division, which held people up. But we'll see going forward into one game that is bringing the hype in Anthem. Why are they bringing the hype? Because they're doing something that not many people have done before. They, Michael Gamble, the lead producer of it, recently talked about a forthcoming open demo for Anthem on his Twitter. Basically says, had a few people ask me why we're doing an open demo. This is why. Your money is hard-earned. Games are an investment. We think it's fair to you to get to try before you buy. The entire campaign has been one of transparency. We think Anthem is cool to watch, but awesome to play. Now, that shit right there tells me everything I want to hear. It's the like, look, we love our game. It seems like you guys love our game, but you've been burnt before, and we know that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the first couple of missions to play through, similar to what normal companies do for an alpha or a beta, but we're going to make it open.
Yeah.
We'll give anybody, from the sounds of this, anybody the opportunity to play this shit, which is amazing to me. Because you want to know why? Because that game...
Were you expecting me to ask why? Why, Dave? Why?
I was hoping you would have set me up there.
I was reading up on the demo. And
I was hoping you would have set me up there.
Why, Dave?
Because it has such good graphics and addictive gameplay. It's got all the makings of what could be a great game.
I'll be completely honest. I saw the first... when we saw, what was it, a year ago? Just
under a year ago.
The little taste of it. Of just not even gameplay, just hey, this is
the cutscene of them walking to the ledge and then jumping.
And I'm like, wait, I get to be Iron Man? I'm in. I'm in. This is in. I can't wait for it. Even when we started seeing a little bit of gameplay and how you had the videos of the Anthem dev talking about the trailer that they did at the Game Awards and stuff, the story trailer. And I actually love this idea because it kind of shows to me of like you said, we'll give you a little taste. We're not giving you the full game. We're giving you obviously a demo, but it kind of is like, we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We know our game is so good that you're going to be addicted with it just by playing the demo, that you're going to want to buy the game. You're going to want to buy it that 2 weeks later because we know what we got is so good and you're going to love it.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be an absolute hit. I think the biggest thing for me is that they basically are acknowledging that gaming companies bait and switch people. It's the we're going to hype up a game to high heaven and then all of a sudden be like, okay, I spent my money on the game. Where's the gameplay? Oh, shit, that's not quite all here yet. Well, if you stick around...
Well, Fallout, what, 76?
Yeah, Fallout 76 was a dumpster fire.
People thought they were going to get something totally different than what they got.
And it's funny because the idea of Fallout 76 was something totally different than the previous Fallout game. Yeah. So they whiffed twice.
But I mean, it comes down to what I've seen. There's an old guard to it as well, where there are people in the gaming sphere that have the mindset of don't be the first one to buy a game at launch because you're the guinea pig.
Yeah.
You are the guinea pig. This game company is testing it out with you. Wait for the guinea pigs to go through it, either after the kinks are all worn out, or also like a Fallout 76 type thing, after seeing the reviews, being like, all right, not going to waste my money on that. At least this demo gives you the kind of sense of if it's not a game for you, all right, I didn't waste my money on it, and it was free, and it wasn't the thing is open demo, exactly of what is that going to mean 110%? Because it could be a demo where it's oh, here's a demo. And you're like, all right, I still don't have a sense of what this game really could be. Where I feel like it has to be something where you leave where it's okay, I didn't get everything, but I got enough to hook me and make me want to buy it.
I mean, it's an interesting... I have an interesting follow-up then for you. You kind of poo-pooed on Cyberpunk 2077's stream because it was just pure gameplay. Now, do you think it's different to watch the opening X minutes of a game, or if this demo is literally just the first 3 missions of the game, would you be unhappy with that? Do you treat it differently, playing it because then you're forced to replay it, a week later or 2 weeks later, whatever it will be, versus watching, someone play through the game.
It's a fine line.
But then we're so far out, there could be changes.
Yeah, it's a fine line. Like the thing with the Cyberpunk one, and actually now, as I've had time to think about it, the only thing I would say that's devil advocate to myself with that is, first off, like with me in a game like that, I want to experience the story firsthand. So maybe if it was like a playing demo, I wouldn't have been as harsh. Yeah. But also it goes into it of like, how long is the Cyberpunk story going to be? If it's like, hey, we gave you an hour, but it's going to be like an 80-hour campaign.
It's going to be an epic.
Like, all right, you gave me 1/80th of what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
it seems like a micro spec of
somewhere in the Red Dead level of fun to hour percentage,
And who knows? Maybe what they could do, like, this is what I would really like, okay? For an open demo. Yep. Like, here it is. You get the demo. Here's the first 3 missions. If after that you're like, I have to buy it, you don't have to start from...
if you can continue on?
You can just continue from your demo, but you have the full game.
That would be amazing.
Like, that's what I would do. Unless it's like, all right, I played it on PlayStation, but hey, all my friends are going to get it for PC, so I'm going to get it there. Then it might be a little different. But, like, for me, if I'm going to play it on PlayStation, like, if you choose right there, hey, I'm going to buy it, and you buy it, maybe with that it might be a little difficult. Maybe you would have to buy a digital copy for that. But it's like, if you buy the digital copy, then you get to pick up right where you left off, and you don't have to start all over. Like, that would be for me, because that's another thing of like, why would you, I don't want to say punish your buyer, but like, hey, you've already played this, you're giving us your time for the game, here, pick up where you left off and continue playing our great game now that you bought it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It would be even more good, I guess, good karma for them. But yeah, no, I think that's a super intriguing thing. And that's something like this whole year basically is coming up to like, are we going to see a shooter MMO kind of take over as the mainstay game? Because like right now Fortnite is very much king of the castle, but people are starting to simmer away from the game. I think it's hit its peak as far as popularity. The nice thing is they continue to innovate and like tweak the game and add new, I guess, storyline to their seasons to keep it interesting. But I wonder, do you think that we'll see a game like Anthem, The Division 2, something in that vein kind of take over the main, the emerald of my eye kind of situation for the gaming people?
For me, I feel like something has to happen because like Fortnite for me, I like, and really all these different ones, I kind of see it in subsections. Like the Tom Clancy fans are over in one corner playing their game. Like Rainbow Six Siege was a game where it was like you had your subsection over here of Tom Clancy fans playing that, and then you have your Call of Duty people over here, your Fortnite's over here, and I feel like Call of Duty started it, where it was the pinnacle of like good story and a multiplayer. Right. Whereas Fortnite, just multiplayer. Like there is no story really to it. Like Overwatch tries to put some more lore into it.
Out of game lore bit, though, right? It's mostly out of game.
Out of game, like, and that's how they
do
really
some special events.
I like what they do with it, but it's almost like oh man, just give me a single player version too. Like, eventually, give me a single player version of Overwatch, and I think it would do pretty well. There's got to be a game for me that comes back to the single player kind of side of it. Yep. And I think that's what Anthem could be, because like right now, I even looked up, because I saw this a couple days ago, like in this whole first-person shooter category, the biggest thing with Call of Duty right now, Dave, is Black Ops 4 just came out,
Yeah.
You know what people are already talking about?
What's that?
In 2019, is it going to be Ghosts 2 or Modern Warfare 4? They're already looking to the next one.
To be fair, Black Ops 4 came out how long ago?
I mean, it's only been, what, November, October is when it came out?
That's half the year. We're already halfway to the cycle for the next one, Ricky.
True.
Those games are pumped out on a yearly basis.
But I mean,
if you're at month 5, guess what cycle we're at in the hype train? We're back to check out the new game.
I look at it and it's like, first part of me is like, it's easy. Like, that answer is easy.
Yeah.
You go Modern Warfare. You go with your freaking cash pony, not with Ghost. I wasn't a huge Ghost guy.
I felt like missions in Ghosts.
I felt like Ghost was a waste of money, but that was because I was a multiplayer guy in Ghost and wasn't a campaign guy. But, like, World War II, is that what the one we played?
Yeah.
Is that what it was technically called?
Yeah.
I love that one. Like, I could play that online for days and just be fine with it. Exactly. Like, towards the end, it got a little repetitive, but it's like, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like, Black Ops 4, I didn't even buy it.
Dude.
Didn't even waste my money on it.
Same here. I'm with you. I think Black Ops got so gimmicky. Like, with its kit, it was just like, it's just too much. And I feel like an old man for saying that, but we're on the right show to say that.
But is it as gimmicky as Advanced Warfare of, I'm going to jetpack, ooh, run across the wall.
You're right.
Like,
you have a point.
I felt way too old playing that game where it was like, wait, what? Huh? How do I? Dead. Why are kids killing me? Why can I not
from every angle? Yeah, it's like, where am I supposed to look?
Because they're jetpacking, they're climbing on walls, they're going across this, which is cool, but I was not ready for it.
That was a retaliation to Titanfall, to be fair, which did it better. Just I'll openly admit, Titanfall was way cooler.
And hopefully Anthem will do it better.
Anthem gameplay is totally different, man. And that's the nice thing is like I don't think that the gameplay is similar between Anthem, The Division, obviously
like,
Destiny 2 that's out there right now. I think and Warframe
and Fortnite is so cartoony that it's just over.
Exactly, and Warframe's the other one, kind of in the same area because it is you're in a mech technically, and you do have multiplayer. The thing with Warframe is just it's a beautiful fucking game.
Yeah,
visually. So appealing. Gameplay wise is fun until you hit endgame, and then there's no endgame.
You want to know why I don't bash Warframe?
Why is that?
Because it was free.
It was
because I didn't pay to download it. Because I remember downloading it. I did. I played a little bit. We never played together, so I got rid of it. It was on my regular PlayStation 4 before I got the Spider-Man one. Because you showed it to me. I played it at your house. I'm like, you know what? I'll download it. Maybe
Dave and I jumped on that because of Destiny being just crap.
Exactly, because I'm like, maybe Dave and I'll play it. And then we never, it wasn't like you stopped. It was, I never really asked. And it was like, we never played. So I was like, all right, it's good, but it's boring playing by myself.
It's almost like a Borderlands game.
It's almost like a Borderlands game, where Borderlands, after a while, you get bored playing by yourself. But let's be honest.
I think won't hit me up for.
I think we started with the wrong one. I think we should have went to Borderlands 2 and not the pre-sequel, because I got bored of the pre-sequel.
You picked wrong.
We got to the same point.
That was a great thing.
Bored of the pre-sequel.
Quick sidetrack. We talk about getting back into Borderlands again. Man. I'm all hyped for the potential for Borderlands 3.
We played it.
And then Rick's like, all right, let's do this. And I'm like, what game? And he's like, pre-sequel. I
was all in on it, Dave. I spent almost $400 on headsets just to be able to play it.
Sure.
That was the night we went bam, and I put that money on the table and said, I'm buying these.
So I was like, oh, are you sure? It's like, 2's a great game. And he's like, no, man, it's easy platinum. Both
of them look like easy platinum.
And we get to the same exact spot we stopped on last time. And it was just like, I'm done. I'm done for the night. It was for the night. We have not.
Yeah, it was like we weren't but it wasn't like it's not pulling me back into it. Plus, I feel like I chose the wrong character.
Oh, do you?
I should have went with the one with the Warhawk. Whoever, I can't even remember his name. Yeah, Wilhelm. I should have went with. That's my character in Borderlands.
You're Axton,
I am typecast into the. Roland was my guy in Borderlands 2 with the freaking shield and everything. Yep. That's my guy. Give me an assault rifle. Give me that health and that shield that can go down, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
I was never a Malachi person or Malekith. Was he the sniper from Borderlands 1? Can't remember the names. It's been so long since I played. But I was never a sniper in Borderlands 1. I was never Zero.
Yeah.
The ninja assassin sword. Yep. I was never into that. It was just assault. Ricky is basic assault rifle. Even in Call of Duty.
Mordecai.
That was it. Yeah. I'm thinking Malekith because that was like
that was my character's name in Phantasy Star.
But yeah, I'm an assault rifle guy. That's what I like. I will always remember Modern Warfare 1 and 2.
Yep.
That basic assault rifle that
M4.
you start out with, that was my jam.
Yep.
Golded that, had all the challenges for that because that was just the gun I would use.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ricky, you know there's better guns, right? Yeah, but if I put these attachments on it, I make it better.
I love how you were always like the first gun guy, and I was always like
last gun.
No, I was always the last, but it was like, get me something a little more fun.
Second to last.
I feel like a hipster when I play those games. I was like, get me something fun. Like with Counter-Strike, I was like, get me the TMP.
Yeah.
Like I want to use the submachine gun that's dirt cheap, but silence, and it embarrasses people that I was like a top fucking 50 TMPer.
In Halo, were you a needler? You were a needler,
I was a needler,
right?
Yes. Like I said, I want the obscure.
Dave's like double needlers.
I wanted to be the obscure person with my gun choices. I think in one of them it was like everybody's using the M4 and like the other one, I'm gonna use the UMP.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be a monster. I'm gonna be a monster on the UMP.
Dave, the UMP.
On the UMP.
The UMP, whatever it is.
I don't know, I just feel like that's my jam.
I do remember you loving the UMP.
Dude, I wrecked with that gun. I sound like I'm 12. I wrecked with that gun, brah.
The one thing I forgot to say, since we're kind of off in a tangent
land.
anyways, is so you know how I was complaining about Red Dead to you?
Yep.
First off, have not yet. I complained about the fast travel, have not used it because like I look at like
tell me
the thing that I hate about the fast travel is I ride over here for something, but then I have to ride back to the camp to use it. So like by the time I ride back to the camp, I go, all right, I guess I'll just ride. Like, I guess I'll just ride. Like,
I guess I'll just.
It's one of those things where it's like I did it anyways. But one of the coolest things from that game was, so for one of the trophies, I got to do stranger missions, right?
Yep.
And I find this guy in town, and he's an old guy, and he's like, you know, the bank kicked me out of my house, and I just wish I could go back and get my things, but they won't let me in. Have you found this one?
I don't think I've done that mission. Okay,
so this guy's in, I think it's Rhodes was the town, because it's a town where you can't use your guns. Like you're a deputy, and you can't use your guns. So you go to his house and you see the bank notice, you break in the back door, you're fine, and you start reading all these things, and like you're getting hints of like, okay, he used to work for a plantation, and at first I'm like, oh, well, he was probably like, you know, just a worker for the plantation. And then I start like thinking about it a little bit more. I'll get there, Dave.
Okay.
Yeah, your brain, like your wheels were turning a little bit quicker than mine. But like, because my mindset was, let me find this ledger, let me find this gun, and I had to find something else. It was like 3 items. One was an old gun, one was his ledger, and then the third one was, I think, like his bourbon or something like that. And you're reading all these notes, how the plantation's like, hey, we're not going to be able to work with you, or we're terminating you. And eventually you find out, like, when you open his ledger, it's like, oh, well, even before you open his ledger, like, there's a picture and he's got like a secret compartment that leads into like the under the house, and there's like chains and shit. And you're like, why are there chains and shit? And at this point, you've already come up with the conclusion of what's going on in his head. Yeah. And then you look at his ledger, and it's just names and prices.
Yep.
And you're like, holy shit, this guy sold slaves. He had slaves locked up under his house, and he sold them. And one of the coolest moments is I found where he was, because I was going to give him back his things. And your Arthur just throws the ledger into the fire. He throws the gun into the fire. But the coolest part, and this is like the coup de grace of it, is I love the good and bad meter.
Yeah.
And I get upset when, like, I'll stop to help someone. They'll go to rob me. I will kill them because fuck you for trying to.
Yep.
And then it'll be like negative. And it's like, they tried to rob me. Of course I'm going to shoot them in the freaking face.
Yeah.
But with him, he's sitting there, and I'm just like, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I go to walk away, and I just go, fuck it. And I pull out my pistol, aim it right at his head, and just cap him.
Yep.
And it didn't do a negative. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for letting me make that decision. And like I capped him. Best part, falls in the fire, and then his body starts on fire. So then he burned to death. Well, after I already shot his head off.
So he was already dead at that point, but yeah, his body burned.
Also, I found some Klansmen. You know what I did to the Klansmen?
Murdered them?
I threw Molotov cocktails at them.
Nice.
So because
Molotov cocktails are super fun.
I needed something that would explode and kill all of them because I didn't want to get into a gunfight.
Massive gunfight. Yeah.
So I just burned some of them alive, and some got away. I mean, you can't kill them all, even though you want to. But yeah, so many of them burned alive.
Yeah.
Because they told me to shut up. The Supreme one was talking. I was like, no one talked to Arthur Morgan like that. And I'm Arthur Morgan.
Don't you start to take on his personality?
Or Arthur Callahan, whichever one you are.
Yeah.
But I'm Arthur Morgan, and no one talks to Arthur that way. That's a good boy.
I just love that, like, you can't not enjoy yourself and then also, like, become him as you play. Like, they do a great job selling it.
You know who I kind of hate in that game, but I love at the same time?
Whom?
Dutch.
Really?
Kind of hate Dutch.
I hate Dutch.
He's like, I like him
I think it's a good character.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, the part in that game, how far did you get into the story?
I went through the whole story.
Oh, you're done with everything?
Yeah, I'm done with everything I'm going to do in that game, barring this whole freaking battle royale online gameplay crap, which
I haven't
not
dove into
about.
online. I don't know if I will. The best thing, and I was telling Johnny about this because I'm like, I needed to tell someone because we recorded the podcast the day after. The oh shit moment, spoilers, by the way, for Red Dead Story.
Yep.
So I'm in town with Bill, Sean, who I love Sean's character. I was telling you, like, every time he talks, I'm just like, he sounds like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Or like he would be a friend of Conor McGregor. They've got that same Irish accent to him. And he's just talking. And then out of nowhere, gunshot. Just hits him in the head. And I was like, oh, I'm not ready. And then they start. It's like, oh, shit, I got to start fighting. I had to pause the game. And I was like, wait, I need to comprehend this. Sean is obviously dead.
Oh, yeah.
He is obviously dead. Because even Bill's like, you think he's dead? What do you think, Bill? Your character actually says, what do you think? Because he's dead. Yeah, those were two things I'm having fun with. I'm in chapter 4, by the way.
All right.
So I'm almost done.
You hit the lump in 3, basically, and you made it over.
There was a lump in 3?
From my gameplay, I felt like it was just kind of...
So you didn't like the bright weight and gray thing?
I felt it slowed down a little.
A little bit.
I hit my groove in 2, and I was happy, and then it just got slowed a little, but then I picked back up again.
The thing I liked about it, though, is I could do all the side missions and then
right, because you're going to Platt, right?
Yeah, I'm trying. Because the thing that I looked to, and first off, I'm going to say Mark was wrong. Because Mark said, when I said, oh, I'm going to try to platinum it, Mark was like, he's like, I feel like when you go to platinum it, you're not going to like it as much. Oh,
because you're going out of your way to try to... You're basically forcing yourself to do these things instead of organically playing the game.
I'm forcing, for me, but this is something you got to understand about me. I'm forcing myself to enjoy everything this game is going to give me. Like, I hunted a legendary moose,
so weird. Yeah.
And I killed it. Would never have done that if there's not a trophy to study and kill all the animals.
And it's funny because I have a different... For me, it's like, I love wandering out and just being like, what's going to happen today?
Yeah,
And that's my jam.
I need an objective.
I get some excitement out of that.
For example, my biggest... Until Mark told me, which, by the way, if you're on the PlayStation controller and you have a map...
Shortcuts.
Whatever game you're making, I'll give you a hint. And this might not be popular with everyone, but it's popular with me.
Sure.
You got a big freaking button in the middle of that controller.
Use it.
Make it the map button. Like, hit and the map comes out. Because I didn't know I could just hold the option button and it goes straight to the map. Because that was the biggest pain. Start X, back. Start X, back. And I'm like, there's got to be an easier way to get to this dang map.
I mean, some people had maps on their walls. I'm just saying.
What do you mean?
Like outside of the game. Like,
Oh, well, I'm not there. I'm not going to. I have the map because I have the collector's edition because that's the one. That was the only one that was there Black Friday.
Oh, wow.
Everyone was like, hey, we're going to buy the standard one because it's $15. I'm like, nope, I'm really getting this game. I don't care if it's full price. And I just picked it up.
Wow.
So I had the collector's one. didn't like want.
I didn't know that.
It wasn't an Assassin's Creed one where I'm like, I'll buy the season pass one just because it's.
Have you gone back to season pass?
Not yet. I was going to, but I got to go back to Spider-Man first. I still have not New Game Plused it on Ultimate difficulty.
Fantastic.
So I have to go with that before I go back to Assassin's Creed. If I do go back to Odyssey.
Fantastic for Spider-Man.
Yeah. New news. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know what suit it's going to be.
Fantastic Four Spider-Man.
What, he's just going to have the blue Fantastic Four suit? Is
Maybe he'll have the OG, like, 4 suit.
My computer died, so I'm going to use my phone to look up if he had a Fantastic Four suit.
I don't know. But I'm pretty much going to wrap it up on this note.
Dave's like, I think we talked
I'll leave it on a
enough.
cliffhanger. Today we talked some Bungie.
4.
We talked a little bit of Anthem.
Talked a lot of stuff.
We went down Nostalgia Street. Took about 16 different detours there. So I hope you enjoyed us talking about that. So if there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments down below. We love reading the comments, as earlier mentioned.
There is a suit.
Yeah.
So it's just the blue Fantastic Four suit with the 4 in it with a like black mask.
Yeah, I thought it was the 4. I just remember the 4 logo on there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has a Fantastic Four suit. That's
so maybe
probably what's
maybe that's what's going to come out.
Probably.
All right.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Thanks so much for joining us. Can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Dave's like, I forgot how to close it.
I don't know. Words were coming out of my mouth.